topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
To Triversity Talk. I'm Wendy Stewart, and those of you who tune in every week know that. Happy to be here with you, of course, on Wednesday. This is my hump day, and I have to tell you, I love doing the show on Wednesday night. You know, it's like something that's in the middle of the week that I actually look forward to, other than my next cocktail. No, that was just a joke. Anyway, a couple of announcements that I wanted to share with you. The vigil that was supposed to happen tonight for Juniper Blessing is going to happen on Wednesday, May 27th. And again, I direct you to our Facebook page, Triversity, the Pride Center, or our website to always double check times and things. But due to the weather, we had to reschedule it. But this Sunday is our Triversity Garden Party. You know, it's a big event for all the members of our LGBTQ community and allies. And we are going to have it tented if we have to. We're all dealing with this crazy weather. There's thunderstorms. I'm getting alerts on my phone about thunderstorms. And the show has to go on, right? No matter what. So it will be a completely tented event. And we have 2 tents, I was told. One of them is huge. And I'm going to get there early in the morning and try and help them set up, although I'm rather useless at these kinds of physical tasks. But I'm sure somebody will find something for me to do. June 14th is our trip to Luna Park, run by Ricky Boscarino. Luna Park is a fantasy place where Ricky gives creative workshops in his amazing, it's a castle. I don't know what else to call it. Okay. He took a hunting cabin and turned it into a whimsical fantasy castle like you would see in Disney World. And we're doing a special Triversity trip along with, I believe, Sussex County Pride. And that will be the 14th. We will be meeting by the Triversity Center at 12:15 and carpooling there. For those of you who don't want to do that, the tour starts at 1. You can just get there in your own car. We're selling tickets like crazy for Paddle for Pride, which is June 27th. Please make sure you mark that on your calendar. It's a really great event down the Delaware, and everyone has such a good time every year doing that. So join us. You can follow Triversity, the Pride Center on Facebook. Give them a like so that they know that you're out there. And you can always get in touch with me if you want to be on the mailing list. I'm all over social media. I am, and that's just how it rolls these days. So, okay, our guest tonight. You thought I would never get to the guest tonight. I met this person when they were playing the saxophone for my amazing friend, Maria Connor, who is coming on the show in June. Maria has, of course, written a musical called Girl Shock, and she's been working on it and developing it. And I met this person first on stage there, or so I thought, but no, I met them before that. You know how you meet somebody again and again, and you make a mental note, and I thought, oh, gee, they would be so great for the show. And then the Imperial Court of New York did Night of a Thousand Gowns, and one of our acts, of course, was the Bad Judies, which this person is also a member of. So yeah, our paths kept crossing, and I'm like, let's get you on the show. Let's do it. The title of tonight's show, and I took it from their bio, Sax, Drags, and Violins with drag enchantress Mercy B. From the humble beginnings Mercy B had as Adam in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. We love that. A Pennsylvania person on tonight. Came to New York and just started getting booked in club venues all over. I guess my question is this intense musical training and drag. How is it all working out? Well, we know it's working out great, but you know what? What was it like? Certainly, Mercy B has something different to bring to the party. So let's welcome Mercy B.
Hello.
Honey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy you have blonde hair tonight. It's the blonde girls' night.
Have more fun, don't we?
We do have fun, but you know what? As I was going through your social media, girl, you can carry every color of wig. That is not easy.
It's a journey. You know, I started as more of a blonde, and I thought that would be my color, but I'd like to experiment, you know.
No, I saw you in like the dark wigs are not easy. When I put a dark wig on, I do some of the characters I do for the Imperial Court. If it's like a Latin night, I don't look great in a dark wig. And I marveled that every color that you had on, you can pull off. That's, you know what, that's just lucky, really.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
What can I say?
How many wigs do you have?
Oh God. Well, functional wigs, I would say I have like 10 that I rotate at the moment, and I have even more that are in need of retirement.
I call those are the dysfunctional wigs.
Dysfunctional, correct.
Right.
Yes.
I have 52 wigs.
Good Lord.
I know, but I wear, you know what? I wear the same blonde pieces again and again because the ones I feel do me the best justice. And then I've got a couple of red ones that are absolutely stunning. Why I don't like to wear the red wigs, people look at me and they're like, oh my God, you need to dye your hair red. They don't understand that my hair would look like Brillo if I did that. You're laughing, Mercy, because you know what I'm saying is true, right? That the texture that you get with a wig, and I love wigs, but the hair texture is amazing.
Well, I remember the red wig you had on at A Night of 1,000 Gowns was gorgeous.
That was gorgeous. I special ordered it. So we were told, I don't know if they shared that with you because the Bad Judies were there as performers, but you know the theme was Bridgerton.
Right. Well, we were just told gowns. I didn't realize it was Bridgerton until we got there.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. You know, I really stress that. I don't like shelling out money for new wigs because I have so many, but I spent a lot of time on Amazon, found that wig. I'm like, this is perfect for the character I want to be because I had the dress. I had the Bridgerton dress and just in my wardrobe, right? We all have tons of stuff in our wardrobes if we perform. And I was very excited and I'm like, oh, this is really going to kill it. And then I got there and I was dressed for Bridgerton, which was fine, but there were some unbelievable gowns there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
A lot of the people did not adhere to the dress code.
Right. Well, we just were told gowns, so we just wore pretty gowns.
Different.
I don't know if I have a Bridgerton gown. That would have been a little bit more of a task.
A task to get a Bridgerton gown.
Yeah.
I have 3 of them because, well, since we're talking about Triversity in Pennsylvania, Doug Kosh, who is an amazing friend to Triversity and is in Pennsylvania, used to have a vintage collection that we did fashion shows for. And Doug would sell us, I'm not kidding you, these like amazing, some of these dresses you would have killed for, the glitter ones or whatever, but he had Bridgerton stuff. And I think I bought those dresses for like $10 a piece. And I remember thinking at the time, what the hell am I ever going to use like this Marie Antoinette look for? But you see, Mercy, you never know because
you got to keep it around.
Right. You got to kick it around, keep it going. Yeah. So there you have it. So first of all, I love that you are from Pennsylvania.
Oh yes. Born and raised.
Born and raised in PA. Wow.
I'm a Poconos girl.
Yeah, you are. Now, okay, since you brought that up. So did you spend a lot of time at Rainbow Mountain?
I actually didn't because I've actually only been there like 2 or 3 times because I moved to Philadelphia when I was 18.
Okay.
So I wasn't old enough to go to the clubs yet when I was still living there. So when I would go back and visit every now and again, I would go to Rainbow Mountain.
Right. Well, it's now under new management.
It is, yes.
Yeah, you weren't hearing about it for a bit, and I've gone on an for the few. And then, of course, a place I've never been, but my wonderful friend Belle Pepper performs there a lot, is Camp Out. Have you ever been to Camp Out?
No, I haven't. Is that? I think I've heard of it though.
Yeah, I think it's like on the same mountain
Mhm.
or very close by. So yeah, you definitely check it out. But you know what? You don't have any time. You're working in New York so much.
Well, I've been dying to get back to the Poconos and perform. I've yet to perform and drag in the Poconos in my hometown.
Are you kidding? Wow.
So that's kind of a bucket list item, either Rainbow Mountain or Camp Out, or one of those places that would be.
Or like a lot of the girls I know out there. I know all the Poconos, as you call them. I don't know. I call them the PA drag queens, who are also the Jersey drag queens, right? Because in Milford, we're near where New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania come together, and some of those girls are also upstate Catskill drag queens. So yeah, they all come together. I would love for you, with what you have to bring to the party, to just get connected and do some events. Those girls are all really nice. And I have to tell you, it doesn't matter if you're in New York or PA, talent is talent. And, entertainment is entertainment, as you know. So you grew up in Stroudsburg, and then you went to Philadelphia for school. Can I assume you went to Temple University?
I did. Yes, I went to Temple for music education.
Well, you're educating the public, Mercy.
I don't really teach anymore, but that was the track that I was on. And believe it or not, there's a lot of skills that you learn as an education major that I found useful as a drag queen. So
working with audiences.
Yes, it worked out, and controlling groups of people and getting people's attention. It's very similar to teaching a class of elementary school kids.
Absolutely. So you went to Temple University. When did you start doing drag?
I started drag. Well, I really started dabbling during the lockdown, during the pandemic, because I was living in Washington Heights at the time, and with a lot of time on my hands, as many of us did in quarantine. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to order some wigs on Amazon. I'm just going to dabble, start doing makeup and whatnot. But I didn't start performing in drag until I moved to Astoria, which is where I live now. And so my first ever drag performance was about 3.5 years ago.
You are really, I thought you might be like a brand new girl in town. I'm like, and I figured I'd ask it during the interview. No, you really are. It's so refreshing, by the way.
I'm fresh meat. I'm fresh blood.
Right. Fresh bait on it. No, but I totally love that. I have to share something with you, because you mentioned living in Washington Heights during the pandemic, and that's when you started experimenting. So my group, of course, was all the people who have been working all along in drag and comedy, right? Because it overlaps, and everything came to a crashing halt. And I wish I had known you, because we started doing, and I was so green at these online shows on Zoom, right? Where you would get your assigned time. And I used to have to drink half a bottle of wine. I was so nervous about performing this way. Now, if I'm in front of a live audience or making a film or TV, no issues. There was something so intimidating to me about I was afraid I was going to screw up. Like when it was my time to, hit the thing on the computer, I'd screw it up.
Yeah. It's different when it's in your house.
Right. And I was in the corner of the couch in my house with my chihuahua and, dressed from the waist up in glitzy or whatever.
It's kind of like what we're doing right now, really.
No, it is what we're doing right now. I know. But the thing that really intimidated me when I first started doing it, they were telling me, you have to set up your Venmo. We need your Venmo. I'm like, why do I need Venmo? I had no idea why I would possibly need this thing called Venmo. And they're like, well, people are going to tip you. And I was like, well, why are they even going to tip me? I'm terrible. I'm the only girl in the show. Why on earth is anyone going to tip me? But Chauncey Dandridge over at Stonewall, one night, what did I make? I think on one of those shows, I made like $8.
Well, you know what? It's better than nothing.
I was like living so large, right? I made $8. I remember him calling that out. He said, look how much money you made. I made $8. But I love that you used, a lot of people, we talk about the pandemic a lot. For you, that was the catalyst to get all this going.
A bit, yeah. I was locked in and bored, and I thought I had always wanted to do it.
Wow.
But there wasn't really living in that neighborhood in Washington. I lived on 179th, and to get to the nearest place where you can go and do drag, like an open stage or what have you, for the first time would be like at least an hour on the train.
Right.
So I kind of just avoided it. I was like, that's a lot. Like, I don't want to get on the train and drag and all that. But then I moved to Astoria.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I live about a block away from Albatross, which is
where would you perform? You do your show there.
Correct. Yeah, it's my home bar now. And my first performance was at what they called a debutante ball at Albatross, hosted by Angela Mansberry.
Okay, first of all, I have to stop you right there. You have no idea how much I love Angela Mansberry.
Oh, she's my favorite. She's
a good person, a great performer. And I met her at a live show that Chauncey was doing at Stonewall. And I went up to her after. I'm like, I have to have you on my show. And then we met each other. I think it was at the Glam Awards. And then I needed a performance song, because I'm not as good as all you drag people at finding music for myself. I don't sing. So it's got to be something really catchy and cool. Angela got me a really great song about a muff. And I am forever indebted to her. And she sent it to me and everything. I'm like, this is such a great person. So I love that you're connected to Angela.
Oh, yeah. She's like my fairy godmother of drag. She's the person that got me into it in the beginning. And she hosts that show about 2 or 3 times a year at Albatross. And you just sign up and everyone does a number and everyone's supporting each other, and people bring their friends and family.
I love it. Is it like, are there a lot of new performers too?
Yeah, it's mostly new people. It's for people who like want to try drag for the first time. So it's some people that have done it here and there, but it's mostly people who are brand new to it.
I think that is so totally cool too, because it's, you know what, it's really hard. And you came into drag at a time, even a few years before you, when was like at its most competitive. Let me just say, I knew RuPaul in the day, right? From Wigstock, and she was around along with all the other drag queens from that time, but it wasn't saturated, and it became saturated. And then a lot of the drag performers from that time, Sherry Vine was one of the first drag performers that sang. I love Sherry, dear friend. She sang. Nobody else did. Everyone else did lip sync. So we came out of that whole time. And then Rue coming on the scene. And now you're getting all of these new drag queens. They sing, and then they can really sing, right? Musical theater people that have studied musical theater. They sing, they dance, they're gymnasts. They can do splits like nobody's business. So it's competitive.
It is, yeah. And that's why when I did it, I was, kind of for fun. I was like, this is fun. Like, I'll see if I like it. And, of course that I loved it.
You loved
it. I had to find a way to, because it was very apparent that it was a very competitive place to be. Right. So I told myself if I wanted to do it more often, I needed to bring something different that other people weren't doing. And so I just said, why don't I play instruments and drag and let that be the hook?
Well, it's a brilliant hook. I'm surprised that, like, I would have thought, the chicken, which came first, the chicken or the egg, whatever. Right. I would have thought that, like, the first thing you thought is, I play saxophone, I play violin. This would be great to use in drag, as opposed to doing the drag first and then thinking of the instruments after. Yeah. It's a brilliant hook.
Well, I want it because I've been a musician my whole life. Since I was 4, I started playing violin. And so I had wanted to do drag, and I wanted to just experience being like lip syncing and doing that kind of thing, and just feeling what that was like without bringing in instruments and doing something different with it. And there was a point where I almost just kept them separate altogether, but then one thing led to another, and I got opportunities to perform, and I just brought a violin, or I brought a saxophone, and it turned into this whole journey.
And now those opportunities started to happen when you moved to Astoria. Am I correct?
Yeah, yes.
That is, I mean, it's such a really great, it's a fairy tale.
It is. It really is.
Because you haven't been doing it that long. And I do continually run into you. I think on my post on Facebook, I write every time I'm in the audience, Mercy B is on the stage.
Way.
It is so funny. So what was it like for you growing up in Stroudsburg?
It was nice. My father is a musician, and so he plays violin, and so he got me into the violin. And so I was always very heavily involved in the music department at our school. And so I played violin, but the school district I went to didn't have a string program.
Okay.
So the reason I play saxophone as well is because I needed to pick an instrument that wasn't a string instrument. So I picked the saxophone, and one thing led to another. And now I've just continued playing both my whole life.
Right. And in my school was you had a choice of strings or wind.
Right.
I took violin. It wasn't a good instrument for me. I kept getting creaks in my shoulder, and
oh yeah, you gotta loosen the tension here.
Right, there was a lot of tension. My favorite thing about it was putting the resin on the bow. All right, Mercy, I can tell you this. I have a thing for resin. It's just one of those. You hear me on that, right?
Yeah.
It's got a specific smell, and it's the texture, and
it unlocks certain deep childhood memories.
Thank you for getting that. I knew I could talk resin with you. I'm like, she'll totally understand about the resin.
It's a pain but when it breaks, though, because it's very sticky and it gets everywhere.
Right. It's messy, but it's great. But it is interesting that you were proficient at both. I mean, I get if your dad was a violinist and you grew up around that and you were encouraged as a kid, I can see how that could happen. But the fact that you are equally proficient at the saxophone, you're really a great violinist and great saxophone player.
Thank you.
You know, when you're up on stage, you know, there's so much passion in that saxophone.
Yeah, well, I majored in saxophone in college. I majored in music education. We had to pick a primary instrument, and I had more training, I guess, with the saxophone just because I studied in high school. So I really studied the saxophone pretty hard in college, and I kind of just did violin on the side just to keep it going. And then I graduated college, and I kind of by the end of that, I was tired of the saxophone because they made us practice 3 hours a day, and we had to do the juries, and it was a very time-consuming investment. So after that, I kind of took a break from the saxophone and just played violin. And when I started playing in drag, I really only played the violin. And then my first show with the Bad Judies, I just brought up that I also play the saxophone. They're like, you have to bring the saxophone for the show that we're going to do. And so now it's funny because now drag is the reason why I play the saxophone more often now, which is
I forgot that sentence that you just said, right?
It's not weird. It's like I majored in it, but being a drag queen is the reason why I play it still.
But you know what? But that's fine.
Yeah,
that's really
it's a great
look how you entertain people. Look what you bring to the party. How did you and the Bad Judies come together? The Bad Judies have been around what, 2.5 years?
I think we're in year 4 now for them, and year 3. It might even be close to 5 years that they all started together. But I met them at what is formerly known as Queercella, which it has which the name escapes me. I think it's NYC Queer something. We'll follow up with that. But we met at
it sounds like Coachella. It's Queercella.
Yeah,
I love that.
And they're not allowed to call it Queercella anymore because of that. But now, so it has a different name.
Please.
But anyway, we met at that. We were both performing at that. The Bad Judies and myself were performing at that event at $3 Bill about 3.5 years ago. And that was one of the first times I played violin in drag. And they performed, I performed, and they approached me after, and they were just like, we're doing this Grinch show at Red Eye. We're doing this annual holiday Grinch show, and we'd love to
remember that.
Yeah. And so that was the first thing that I had ever done with them, was what is now our annual Grinch drag show.
And you're with them though all the time. You perform with them now.
Most of the time, yeah. We perform in Fire Island on Thursdays in the summer at Ice Palace, and it's kind of like a rotating cast situation. But for the most part, the 4 of us are together now.
I think that's great. Who can you say who the other three are?
We've got Lyra Vega on piano, we've got Worshiper on drums, and we've got Wesley as our lead singer, who also plays bass. And then we also all sing and kind of rotate instruments. Lyra plays flute as well. Worshiper also plays piano. Wesley plays drums every now and again, and we do harmonies. And yeah, it's a whole lot of fun.
You're like your own little orchestra going.
We are.
All of you. It amazes me that everybody there had to study music to some degree.
Oh, yeah.
And that you all found each other. It's you definitely have your own hook.
We do, and we each one of us brings something so different
Yeah.
to it, which is so lovely. We're not all just singers or lip syncers or dancers. Like, we each bring a very unique sound to the group, which is
it's your own personal thing. And I think that's why you've done so well. That's why you're out there to the degree that you are, because you have something that separates you from just turning up at drag brunch and doing a split.
right.
You know, like it's hard.
Right. I mean, doing a split is hard too. I wish I could do a split.
Right. But you don't need to, honey. You have a saxophone and a violin.
I got my hands full.
So was this your first time with the Imperial Court when you did Night of a Thousand Gowns?
It was, yes. That was our first appearance.
Oh, that's exciting.
And I didn't really know what it was, and we got there, and I was just so intrigued by everything and all the costumes and the crowns and the jewels and everything.
It's very serious.
Yeah.
I've been a member. I joined right before the pandemic. And Francisco, shout out to Francisco, who also goes by Trans Fran, was my sponsor. Fran and I have performed together, and she kept saying you should join the Imperial Court, because I was going to their events. They did shows at Industry, and I loved everyone had on these incredibly fake looking rhinestones and garish jewelry, and I love that. I love bling. And yeah, everyone had titles, and I thought this is really cool. But the coolest thing about them, and I'm sure you found that out, we are the oldest LGBTQ organization giving money to other LGBTQ organizations. That our whole platform is giving money away. And they were formed, of course, during AIDS. You weren't even born then. That's when they formed, and it was a response to the AIDS epidemic. So I'm really glad that you all were there and that you got to see what it is.
Me too. Yeah, I was just all the work that the combination of people and all the work that had been done and continues to be done was very inspiring.
Right, it's inspiring.
There's what is it? 100,000 members nationwide, or is it more than that?
No, I think it is around that. That number constantly changes because, this year it's terrible, but people have been dropping like flies. I mean, I go on our membership page and another one is gone. And, I'm going to put this out to you. We are always looking for new members. We're looking for new younger members. It's opportunities, of course, to perform and have a great time and wear really great jewelry.
Right. So I'm so into it, and it was an honor for us to perform at that.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you. And you were also, weren't you at the Glam Awards this year?
We were not. I was not there this year. I was there the past two previous years.
Okay, so I know the Bad Judy's performed.
We performed there. I think it was 2 years ago. Now.
That's wow, huh? This was felt like it was yesterday.
No, it feels like it was just yesterday. In fact, I wore this. Oh no, I wore the last time I was at the Glam Awards. I wore this wig, but
did you really?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
But the first time we were nominated for Best Group, and we were asked to perform, and we performed with Bootsy LaFerris, which was great. We love her.
I love Bootsy. I love Boudoir Lafleur.
Big fan of hers as well.
Right. I totally love the Assassins. They were our act, I think 2 years ago at Night of a Thousand Gowns.
Oh, at the Imperial Court.
Yeah, so they're really so fierce. The hair flipping, the poses, the legs that go on forever. I totally love them. And again, everybody in there is also musically theater trained,
Right, and they're the real deal, and they're dancers, they're singers. It's the whole.
They can do it all. See, none of these colleges are smart enough to put. If I were running a university, I would have a whole, drag program, right? Where you get we would call it Mercy. We call it the drag arts.
Right, the University of Drag Arts. Well,
Right.
Sooner or later, I'm sure that's going to start popping up.
Right.
But
right.
I think the beauty of it is the things that you learn just performing and just do, like in the dressing rooms in the back of these clubs.
Sure.
Like that's, I feel like, the best way to learn is just by showing up and doing it. And
right. And it's just great being on stage, like I studied theater and acting, and now I am on stage more than I was 30 or 40 years ago. It's just evolved into that. And you want to know, so I'm having a blast.
Absolutely. You're still going.
I have the best time. I'm hosting with Tim Moss, my co-host. We're doing the Lower East Side Festival Friday night. I'll have my 10 minutes of performance, but we're the hosts. We get to intro everyone and read embellish the when you're announcing. You've done announcing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's such a great feeling to be able to give it up for somebody else, tell an audience all these great things about.
Yeah. The first time I did that, I was in 6th grade, and I was this flamboyant gay kid, and we had a talent show, and they asked me to be the host of it, and that was kind of the first taste I got of like being a host on stage.
Right.
And, 10 years old, and we had all these like talent show acts, and I was the host, and I would introduce each one and read a little blurb about them, and it was I'll never forget it because it was the first time that I was on stage, not just playing an instrument but talking and being
it's connecting with an audience. It's what we were saying about like your educational background. You had to connect with students. This is about connecting with an audience, and the job of MC, and I do it a lot, is a really important job. And I honestly sometimes don't even care if I get to perform or not. I just love being up there, talking with the audience. It's something that just is a wonderful thing to be able to do. Well, I want to play your video.
Oh, please do.
Yeah. So, Juan, take it away.
So I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. Hey mambo, mambo Italiano, hey mambo, mambo Italiano, hey mambo. You mix some Siciliano, try to kiss the DJ, you get happy in the feeling. You're allowed to shoot him in the knee. Cross the river, soon your cares will all be gone. There'll be no more from now on. From now
Just fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
Ended on The Devil Goes Down to Georgia, my
Oh
favorite,
yeah.
favorite song. And you really, I could have listened to you play the whole thing.
That's one of my favorite things to play. Is that? It's one of the first things I learned to play.
Really?
Yeah, my dad used to play that all the time in his band when I was growing up in the Poconos, and I would watch him do it, and he would be like jumping off of bars and just going out in the audience and just shredding it on the violin. And so I inherited that.
I think you come from such a wonderful family. This is so great. When they see what you're doing now, how do they feel?
They love it. They're so supportive. They come to the shows whenever they can. My father actually came to one of my Albatross shows, and I had him come up on stage, and he played the fiddle parts at Devil Went Down to Georgia, and I sang it. And it was such a cool moment that I'll never forget. We had people crying in the audience, and they're like, people coming up to me saying, "Why was I crying during The Devil Went Down to Georgia?" And it was just a really, really cool. I feel very lucky to have the family support.
What an incredible memory to have too, that your dad was I mean really, really just amazing. You know, you're very lucky. I don't have to tell you that, because I'm sure you talk to a lot of people that just don't have that kind of support at all.
In fact, after that happened, a guy in the audience came up to me and divulged that he doesn't have that kind of relationship with his father, and he was kicked out when he came out of the closet, and he just broke down in tears, like just having been so moved by what he saw with me and my dad that I just hugged him, and he was just in tears, and it was just it really sealed the deal for me to feel how lucky.
Yeah, right. To be able to connect with someone over that. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Is your mom a musician also?
She is not. My mom's side of the family aren't musicians, but they're very supportive nevertheless.
Are they creative people?
They cook.
They cook.
Mother
Okay.
cooks. She's a good cook.
Your mom's a good cook. You definitely, not only with the music, but the whole flair of costuming and makeup and everything is definitely your own brand. How did you develop that?
I guess a lot of trial and error. I started the first look I ever did was a very grungy leather and lace kind of thing, and then the very next performance I did was like a 50s housewife look. So I just kept picking up things from thrift stores and Amazon, and just experimenting with different wigs and different kinds of looks and outfits. And I think I'm still in that phase of figuring out what my default look is going to be. But
you have such a range of looks. It was exactly what I said. It's every hair color, every hairstyle. And when you don't want that leopard dress anymore, I'll take it from you.
Yeah, it's part of my the items that I need to retire. So I'll let you know.
Yeah, if you're retiring, what's can we talk size? What size are you?
I'm like a women's medium. I want to say I'm a 60. I got a lot of things that are just small, medium, large.
Right.
Off the top of my head,
you're a medium.
I think I'm a medium. Yeah.
This is my lucky day. So am I. Can you imagine? I have been known at the end of drag shows, and people will tell you that this is true. If I really like something that someone is wearing, I will go up to them and offer them $50 to sell me that dress. Because you know what? If I see that dress on stage and I know that it works, it saves me a trip to the thrift store. We all order things on Amazon. You don't know what you're getting half the time. Timu, you know what you're getting. You know it's not going to look like the
No,
picture.
it's not going to look like the picture. Correct.
You know it's not going to be what you saw in the picture. So yeah. Do you spend a lot of time trying out looks ahead of time?
Yeah, well, I at this point I have a lot of things that I've just accumulated that I haven't. This outfit in particular, this I got a while ago on, I think it was Etsy, and this is. Have you seen My Cousin Vinny? I'm sure you've
Oh
seen.
yeah, of course.
There's the scene where she's talking about her biological clock. She's
Right.
wearing, this is the jumpsuit that she's wearing in that scene, and I that's one of my favorite movies, and I needed to. I just love that jumpsuit, and I needed to have it. And I went online and I found someone who's making like replicas of.
Okay, so I have to ask you about your process. What did you put in on Etsy?
I literally put. I think I put Mona Lisa floral jumpsuit or something.
Wow.
And had to happen to be making like replicas of that exact outfit.
Wow, and you were able to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I was doing I have a number from a lip sync number from that movie where I'm lip syncing to her, the dialogue. You know, my biological clock is ticking, and I wanted to have the look.
You had to have the whole look going
Yeah.
on. So which do you prefer? Do you prefer singing live, or do you prefer lip syncing?
I love to sing, and singing is
You have a good voice too.
Thank you. Being in drag has gotten me to sing more on stage, because prior to that I wasn't really singing a whole lot. So it's been really nice to have the opportunity to sing. I love to lip sync too, and when I lip sync, it's usually like a stupid comedy, like movie dialogue kind of number.
So right, you memorize the dialogue and lip sync to it.
Right? Yeah, like My Cousin Vinny movie lines, and I have a Judge Judy mix that I do that I lip sync.
Stop it, Judge Judy. That's so funny.
Yeah, I love to lip sync to funny dialogue and make it into a musical.
What is it about My Cousin Vinny that it was a great movie, but what is it about My Cousin Vinny that appeals to you so much?
I just love. I grew up with it. It was one of the. I've known that movie since as long as I can remember, and it's one of those movies that I can just quote the entire thing. And I just love, like, I'm Italian, and there's like two Italian New Yorkers getting thrown into the mud in Alabama is just. And her in this outfit in the middle of the woods.
It spoke to you.
It speaks to me very much.
Wow. So I have to ask you, in influencers, who are the drag influencers for you? Who are the drag personalities that you aspired to?
That's a good question. I would say, the first person that comes to mind is Jinx Monsoon.
I love Jinx. Yeah.
Love her. And I just love her. I feel like I relate to her in the sense that she approaches drag from a musical sense, and I've gotten the chance to meet her and see her perform.
You have, yeah.
And I have her autograph hanging up on my wall, and I just love her sense of humor. And she has this quote: "She's water off a duck's back," and I just love watching her and her outshine everybody else.
Yeah, everything about her. So I'm wondering, would you ever consider auditioning for Drag Race?
Perhaps one day, not in the.
Why not now? Why one day? Why not now?
I feel like I watch that show and I watch what goes on in the in the workroom and everything, and I feel like I would have a panic attack if I was on that show.
You do? Okay, you know yourself.
That's the first. The second of all, I don't know how to sew yet. That's the next skill that I'm trying to learn. So when I learn how to sew, because I refuse to be one of those girls that goes on that show and doesn't know how to sew after 20 years of that being
20 years of other people making their costumes.
Right. So eventually I will learn how to sew, and then I will consider going on it. But I also just love, like, drag. The beauty of my drag is that it's like a community based. Like, my favorite thing about it isn't necessarily the aspiration of fame or like traveling all over the world. It's like the entertaining the local community at the corner gay bar, or just like doing a fundraiser, or just entertaining the people who are local for the most part.
Yeah, I totally get it. You don't have the narcissism that is involved with some of the drag world. There's a lot of that. And where you're coming from, it's amazing, because you're so talented. It's a part of your drag. It's a part of your whole persona. You really don't have to worry about those other things.
Yeah, and for me, the fun of it is just to make the community happy, and
right.
Like, it doesn't, for me, it's never been a matter of I need to get famous and I want to be on TV. And for me, it's like the appeal. The reason why I started doing it in the beginning is because I continue to be an audience member that is so uplifted and charmed by local drag.
Yeah.
And that's like really what it all boils down to is
I am, by the way, totally right there with you. And if you could just stay in touch with me and let me know when Angela Mansbury does her New Girl show.
I will.
2 times a year, you said. So yeah, I would.
She did one about 2 weeks ago. She did her most recent.
So she's not going to do another one for a while.
Probably. She normally does one in the spring and one, or the spring, winter, and one in the fall. So she probably won't do another one until the fall, like November-ish.
Until the fall, yeah. I think that's a really great concept, and I'm sure she's on the same page as you about using drag to build community.
Yeah, she's very much a community leader. In fact, she was one of the first, when I moved to Astoria, she was one of the first queens I saw perform at Albatross, and I just fell in love with her ability to bring a community together for she hosts bingo. She hosts this debutante ball.
She's just a great person, and I completely agree with you. And a very generous person, you know.
Yes, she's been like a drag mother to me in that way.
So we're down to the wire here now. I don't know why it goes so fast, but it does.
Fast.
Time flies when you're having fun. What do you want people to know about you? What's coming up for you? What do you want to share?
Sure. Well, I have my next Sax, Drags, and Violins show coming up next Saturday at Albatross on May 30th. It's my solo show where I do whatever I want pretty much, and it's a lot of fun. Got a lot of Pride stuff happening with the Bad Judies. We're going to be in Fire Island a lot. We're going to be doing a lot of Pride events in Queens, the People's Borough. So we'll be doing a lot of that. So you follow me on Instagram. It's at Mercy B NYC.
Mercy B NYC on Instagram, yeah?
Instagram, yes. And the Bad Judies on Instagram.
Well, and I would love to invite you. We're doing a show at Industry May 31st. It's called the Hairband Show. It's basically rock and roll. It's the Imperial Court. And if you happen to be in the neighborhood and want to come by for a drink, love to have you. Bring your friends. We have a really good time. I forgot who that performance is going to benefit, but every show that we do benefits an LGBTQ organization, which is very cool, right?
It's all about, yeah.
So the thing I always do at the very end, I take my online pictures here. I like doing that. I know it's kind of crazy, but yeah, come close to the camera. Great. Take a bunch. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad we got to do this. When are you performing with Maria Connor again?
That's a good question. I have to reconnect with her. We have to do that again. And Jackson Sturkey, we'll have
love. Don't even get me started. Love has been I love Jackson, and he's such a, again, generous. These are all very generous people, and Jackson does his, of course, Cuckoo's showcase night.
Oh yeah, I've done that numerous times in the past.
You have.
Love
yeah,
Jackson.
It's late. That's what I tell Jackson. I'm like, I need my beauty rest. It's like I can't be hauling all the way downtown like late. I like shows that finish up at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I don't want to be starting my evening at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. You have to be in the right mood for it.
Well, I guess you have to be in the right mood for it. Thank you so much, Miss Mercy B. A pleasure having you. Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. And Mercy B, this includes you. Triversity is having their garden party on Sunday. Should you want to take a trip back to the Poconos, well, we call ourselves the Delaware Highlands. We're on the cusp of the Poconos, but we are having a party and everybody's invited. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.